morning, Dr. Sally. Today our topic is security of business ethics and law practice at McDonald's. This is our group member Ali, Nana, Green, and Yang Yu. I will do the introduction part. We all know the McDonald's is the world's largest multinational chain restaurant and was founded in 1940 in United States, and now it's more than 300,000 franchises among 122 countries across 6 continents and regions. McDonald's the McDonald's sells hamburgers, French fries, fried chickens, and other fast food. We all know China is the third largest market of McDonald's, and McDonald's entered Chinese market in 1990, and now it has more than 200,000 restaurants, and the employees is more than 100,000. The McDonald's social responsibility is excellent, and in 2014, China Public International Relations Association awarded McDonald's the most influential organization under the category of the corporate social responsibility. The McDonald's try to serving in China's community, and now they have made some excellent award. And now McDonald's try to get the localization change and try to meet the need of the local customers. But we don't let this fact attract your attention, because this topic is talk about the food issues happened in Chinese market. And at the next, my group member will introduce the all above mentioned issues happened in China. In 2014, the McDonald's registered the ingredient suppliers, Fuxi Company, provide a large amount of expired chicken raw materials to McDonald's. This contains much number of expired chicken skins and chicken breast. This made the McDonald's face the challenge from the populace refused to dine in the McDonald's restaurant, and the public arrested the McDonald's irresponsibility attitude. And so we believe that the industry like this is very sensitive. Very sensitive, so we need the company imperative to get a strict law and ethics to under their already practical the conduct. And after this, I will introduce the internal stakeholders. The internal stakeholders are about 2 parts. The first part is employees. The second part is the employers. So the employees linked to the employment experience and the human rights, respect, and the safe workplace. And employers linked to integrated profession, ingredient, common interest. And if someone, because our topic is not about this, but I should mention about this. So everyone, if you are interested about this, you can search on it. And next, my part will introduce the next part.
Let me introduce all of stakeholders of McDonald's. I divided stakeholders into 2 parts. The one is internal, another one is external. In internal stakeholders, McDonald's co-employees as our people. That sounds more friendly. For our people, the McDonald's requires them have relevant experience such as nature talent and high achievement who has the multiculture. So the multiculture is very important in nowadays because the McDonald's is a fast food industry. A lot of customers from foreign and overseas. For this point, for this commitment, the McDonald's have no problem with this, have no scandal. It's very good. For the human rights, respect, and safe workplace, the McDonald's has one scandal case. It majorly happened in Asia, including the Taiwan, Hong Kong, mainland of China. The company overusing the labor and charge them in the low wage. The wage is illegally. The second part is employers. The employers same as the management. The management was compliant with integrity, profession, legality. For the common interest, it's very important for this point. There is a scandal case that happened in 25 in America. The unhealthy foods are very popular at that moment. The fast food, as you know, has high calories and fatness. This is unhealthy for the child especially. And for the raw material, the farm use the antibiotics to feed the cattle and the cow, make them in order to getting the more procedures. The next part is these two photos. The first one to show the McDonald's promise to customers that all of the fast food is very tasty, but under the price. Another diagram to show actually at that moment in America, the 30% as a standard to provide to the child and cannot eat too much fast food. There is the line above there. Majority of the data above exists this standard. So this is very horrible statistics. So the next part is external stakeholders. The first, the main one is customers. The McDonald's commit the customers to keep secret, confidential information and privacy. Also have the marketing advertising. This one is the McDonald's well done. Another one is the qualified and the safe products. Unfortunately, there is a scandal case in China, 2012, especially in Beijing. The McDonald's used outdated cheese to make burger as breakfast to sell. Another scandal case is it happened in the branch of McDonald's. They sell the pie which is overdue, but repackage and resell to the customers after 1.5 hours. So the next part is very important. My partner will introduce in detail about the suppliers. About the human rights, the McDonald's promised to employees, promised to the suppliers, which has the freedom, status, fair treatment. For this part, there is a scandal case happening in UK, London, 21. They employed underage and overtime. For the business integrity, my partner will introduce in specifically the scandal case about the Fuxi in Shanghai on July 2014. Another one is about the society, the community and the giving. The McDonald's provides and build a renowned McDonald's house charities. This charity is very famous in the world. Another one is the corporate social responsibility and the sustainabilities. They promise to public the environment and the nutrition and provide the well-being to the public. But unfortunately, in the very earlier, there's the scandal case that happened in Hong Kong. The manufacturing of package waste, a lot of the package made by plastics, so that a little bit pollution to the environment. Next.
Okay, thanks, Yang. As a leader of fast food industry, McDonald's was supposed to be responsible for their what they said in their CSR. But unfortunately, in reality world, they can't fulfill their duties. Okay, in this part, Nana and I will have a brief introduction about two ethical issues, and then we will do the moral analysis about these two issues. Okay, the first one is exaggerate advertisement. As we know, there are too many unethical advertisements in nowadays. Same to McDonald's. The illusion spurred from the executive advertisement for McDonald's is they promised their customer they will provide highlighted cheaper prices and convenience for people when they ordering a super hamburger. But unfortunately, they cannot do what they said in their advertisement. Okay, from moral analysis perspective, they exaggerated their service to become attractive their customers. And this behavior already offends their customers' legal rights and violated their moral regulations. So this issue is also creating the illusions to customer in a deceptive way to increase McDonald's profits. That's unethical. And they also disobeyed their original promise to their customers, which they promised in their CSR part. Okay, so what will be influenced after this exaggerating advertisement? After that, once their customer realized they was manipulated by this advertisement, maybe they will refuse the McDonald's anymore because they can't provide the highlighted cheaper price and they also can't enjoy the convenience from this product. Okay, next part is for my opponent.
Thank you, my friends. Moral analysis is consisted with four aspects. Firstly is business ethical behavior, because Puxi is the biggest supplier in China, and it creates a deep relationship with McDonald's. Therefore, if McDonald's lost its supplier, that means they can't supply enough food to their different levels of customers. So, for this profit reason, McDonald's can't lose its supplier. And on customer aspect, they didn't respect their customers because they didn't provide a quality product for their customers. And on employee aspect, they didn't do example for their employees because they use expired material to produce food for their customers. Therefore, their employees can't have responsibility for their corporations. And for the community in China, for this case, they didn't have the heavy punishment on the companies. And on another hand, they didn't create the direct relationship with China. So therefore, that means they didn't respect the community in China. That's my part. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Sunny. So my part is critical reflection. So I'm gonna basically have an overview and try to identify any legal loopholes or legal gaps and try to address them. So first off, ethical conflicts are very common with foreign business in China. It's not something new with McDonald's. It has happened over the years with many other companies, KFC, Pizza Hut, especially in the fast food industry. But the inability to recognize this kind of ethical conflict translates into major problems. Problems like obfuscation or dissent, which basically means that people will not be following opinions and standard and policy, then they will make their own, which will affect the organization's image. And McDonald's is the perfect example of an organization with a good image, but with a bad ethics. So to deal with these conflicts, there must be stone set standard of principles and moral guides that should be routinely audited. So here, I'll try to find out the ethical and legal gaps. So McDonald's has certainly failed to abide by, as you've seen from my partners, they have failed to abide by the business ethics and corporate social responsibility, since their manufacturing processes harms the whole environment. So we've already found this out with the Fushi case and other cases. McDonald's has also become an outlaw for violating the country's labor law. In southern China, in the province of Guangdong, if I'm pronouncing that correct, it was reported that the employees were paid 40% less than what was the minimum wage. And a lot of people had objections about it, and other trade unions have raised their voice about it, but McDonald's has yet to give an effective response to this. Okay, so recommendations for improvement on current ethical practice. So there are some practices we think that they're ethical, but how can they improve it, all right? So McDonald's should start off by giving topmost priority to implementing all statutes and laws required by the government and strictly follow the codes of conduct. So this needs to be the topmost priority. They need to understand that without this, they're not moving further. This should be implemented and should be audited. Any suppliers with shady business conduct should be revoked. Their license should be revoked. Secondly, the fast food retailer should value social moral conscience at a higher level. That means they should not choose profit over consumer health. Thirdly, McDonald's management should forewarn their staff about strict punitive actions to be taken for those not abiding by law. So, for example, they can implement CCTVs behind the countertops to monitor the whole day of operation, and they can take strict action if anybody is not abiding laws. For the second part, to increase higher moral conscience value, what they can do is implement incentives. Like for the end of the month, the whole day operation of that branch will be monitored, and bonuses will be given to their employees. Alright, so enhancement on proven ethical practices is already in place. Alright, these are proven, they're already in place. So franchises around the world have tweaked their menus. So there are a lot of McDonald's franchises outside of China that have opted to provide healthier selection of foods like salads, fruits, and fresh Happy Meals. Even kids' meals have a range choices of fresh foods and lower calorie intake. So the calorie intake was reduced. Moreover, people in China have a popular belief, okay, this is on account of my personal interactions with people. People generally believe in China that McDonald's have the cleanest bathroom in the world. So what they can do is they can capitalize on this and further enhance the diners and install the high-tech technology in the bathroom that will provide hygienic experiences. Other thing they can do as well is the diners itself, the restaurant itself, can advertise these newly tweaked menus with flashy pictures of fruits and vegetables. Even add like a range of new comic toys for the healthy meals, so kids will try to opt for a healthier choice. Okay, reflection of improving ethical. So what will be the reflection of improving these ethical practices on some of these stakeholders? Customers will regain confidence. This is not an overnight task. You will have to rebuild back confidence. It will take some time to rebuild the lost trust, but wait will be worthwhile. Once the confidence is bought back, this will supercharge the sales and profits, and the company will restore the diminished reputation. Mainstream media, this is a very important thing. They must build very good relationship. As the mainstream media destroyed McDonald's, it can bring McDonald's back up. The very important stakeholder in this case is McDonald's can reestablish their reputation with the stakeholder by rebuilding reputation with other stakeholders, especially with investors. So if the media has bought back the image, then the investors will most likely start investing in the stock market for McDonald's, and can regain the position in the Chinese stock market, eventually become a preference for investors. And my last slide, okay, self-reflection. Okay, fine. So this assignment has given us an opportunity not only look as a company as brands and big companies, but as a collective efforts of entities comprised of small and larger bricks. Previously, we understood that if a business conducts its business process effectively and builds a strong image, thus the company is most likely to succeed. But now we have learned ethics is a major part of a business, and if the business is not following it appropriately, this can bring gigantic corporations to their knees. Thank you.